Hi, everybody. Laura Balzer here. I'm very excited to come to you, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay. I work with people all the time in the regenerative health and science space, and I get asked a lot about my own personal healing journey. And so I wanted to take a little time and come to you and share with you that journey, what I did to heal myself, and then what transpired for me after, how I support my body now in a way that is giving me complete health on a level that I was not expecting at all. And I feel very blessed by it. So, when did all this start? What was my healing journey? Well, in 2017, I found out I had stage 3 breast cancer. And it was a shocking news, as it would be for anybody. And it was more shocking, I think, for the people around me because I had been in the wellness arena at that time for about 4 decades. And so a lot of you will probably relate to, oh my gosh, I don't know how they got sick. They always take such great care of themselves. They're exercising, they're eating well, they're doing all the things. I think we've all heard that, or I think we've even repeated those words to someone when you've heard of someone developing any type of sickness or disease. So, because I've been in the wellness industry for so long, I instantly knew that going the allopathic way was not for me. Um, Please understand that I certainly respect everyone's decisions and how they take care of something like this. But it just was not for me. It really wasn't even a thought when I found out. So, how did all this come to be? So, in 2017, I'd gotten a bad mammogram. I had gotten a call from my radiologist saying that I had had tissue change. And I remember asking them, you know, how excited are y'all about this? Because they wanted me to come back in and get pictures done and an ultrasound done. And my schedule, I was booked out for 3 weeks straight, and I didn't know when I was going to be able to get that done. As a matter of fact, I had gone and seen my doctor in Virginia because I happened to be up there working with the team there, had really just hit the ground back in Florida when I had gotten this phone call. So they suggested that I find a reputable place. They would send my files and I could get it done there. So I did. I found a place, I made an appointment. And the reason I share this part of the story is because I want you to really think about this. The minute I made that appointment, I just had something come over me. I can't explain it. It was a feeling, it was pretty heavy on me. And it said, call Jenny, call Dr. Jenny. Now, Jenny is a world renowned compound pharmacist that I had worked with on a previous project. She had done some work for me personally on myself, which was amazing. And I listened to my gut. So I texted her and I said, Jenny, I've gotten a bad mammogram. I need to talk to you. So I ended up getting on the phone with her and we started talking about it. I told her what had come down. I shared some information with her. She shared some information with me. Long story short, I asked her, do I go back in and get those pictures done? Do I get that mammogram done? Do I get the ultrasound done? And the first thing out of her mouth was absolutely not. One is, we don't know if that's what's going on in your body. You've gotten a bad mammogram. Number two, if that is what's going on in your body, the last thing I need in your body is radiation. So come in the office, let Mike, at that time it was her husband, Dr. Mike, let Mike prick your finger and do a test called a live blood analysis or a microscopy, okay, to be official. Now, a lot of people have never heard of this. A lot of doctors practicing allopathic Western medicine, they don't really rely on that. However, what it is where they can prick your finger, they put your blood under a microscope. It's a different microscope. It's called a black microscope. And they put your blood up on this big, massive 65-inch screen TV. Now, because of my travel in the wellness industry in very many different facets, when my blood went up, I knew something wasn't right. But who was I to say what it was? So after I sat there for a bit, Mike did determine that cancer was present in my body, and I was a very hot mess. I remember him saying, you had trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions. He might have said trillions 20 times. World War III is going on in your body. So he showed me some things in my blood, bacteria, fungus, the lack of movement, the color. You guys, my blood was just black, just to be honest with you. But you know what he said to me that I don't think anybody ever hears is, I'm not worried about it. We're going to fix it. And at that moment, I knew we were going to fix it. Like I jumped into that moment right there. And so I hate that people don't get an opportunity to hear that, because I think healing your body is just as much a part of what's going on between your ears than it is taking care of the body. So their theory was, let's feed the garden, not spray Roundup on the garden, right? So we determined that through a diet, IV vitamin therapy that I was going to do twice a week, supplementation, detoxification, we were going to be off and running. So what I want to do for you today, because I get asked this question, I talk to hundreds of people on a weekly basis about what I did to heal myself. And I know this is really what you want to hear. So let's talk a little bit about the foods. Okay. Now, again, this is what I did, even though I'm in the wellness arena, okay, in regenerative medicine, wellness. Okay. I'm not your doctor. Okay. I want to preface this. I'm not here to diagnose you or treat you or cure you. I'm just sharing with you what I did. So the food you consume, be it if you're healthy or be it when you're going to go on a journey like this, is very important. So no sugar. Okay. And what does that mean, no sugar? I think a lot of times when people hear no sugar, they think of sweets, but it goes a little deeper than that. So no pastas, no crackers, no potato chips, no popcorn, no rice, right? No pretzels, not anything carby like that, okay, that is going to create or turn to sugar, okay? When you consume sugar, it is like putting gasoline on a fire if you have cancer cells in your body, right? So we want to deprive those cells with no sugar. Now, I can share with you that in this list, they told me that, you know, Laura, you can have coconut water, right? Your body can digest that. It can metabolize that. Low glycemic fruits, things of that nature. I want you guys to know that I made a personal choice not to consume those items. My business partner laughs at me because I will say I wouldn't even eat a carrot. And I wouldn't even eat a carrot, right? Because carrot has sugar in it. So no carby foods, zero. Your meat, I'm a meat eater. I believe in eating meat. I believe you get a lot of minerals and amino acids, vitamins, things that you need for the body, especially to heal. Okay, this is me, right? So I ate beef, but the beef had to be grass-fed and finished. Now, a lot of people have not heard the finished part or why that's important. One of the things, because of what I just told you, right? No pasta, potatoes, things of that nature. You cannot consume grain and corn. Corn is very starchy, high in sugar, and grain is just downright bad for you, okay? But it's also can convert to sugar. Well, what do they feed animals mostly? Grain and corn. So you want your beef to be fed grass, but also finished. A lot of farmers will bring the cattle in before they go to slaughter, and they will fatten them up with grain and corn for obvious reasons, right? To make the price per pound go up for them, right? Makes sense, right? They're in business too. However, grass-fed and finished, Look at your packaging. Don't get sucked in by marketing. Chicken and eggs, pasture raised. Now, we're in 2025, heading into 26. In 2017, buying pasture raised bird and eggs, I could count on that when I was purchasing it. I knew exactly that I was purchasing a pasture raised egg that was, or chicken, excuse me, that was not fed corn or grain, right? They were living off the land. In return, they were producing eggs. Okay. So you have to be very cautious, especially now because it's turned into a big marketing thing. Pasture raised eggs, pasture raised chicken. Absolutely zero pork. Please do not eat pork. Don't eat pork anyway. Pork is just really bad for you. Okay. We can make another video about that. But here's the reason why no pork. On top of it just not being good, and those animals being bred, okay, on the farm to clean up the trash, basically. Pigs do not have pores in their skin, so they cannot sweat the toxins out of their body. So when you consume pork, you are consuming everything that animal eats, as well as the toxins that have been building up in their system over the period of time before they go to slaughter. So I've probably just ruined many, many people's Saturday mornings, and I'm sorry for that, but you got to stay away from the pork. Now, nothing that grows in the dark, right? No mushrooms, absolutely no mushrooms for me. Still to this day, I do not eat mushrooms. Jenny, Dr. Jenny has advised me, no, I've asked her, can I eat mushrooms now? She goes, no, you're not eating mushrooms, right? Now, many mushrooms are healing, but for me, no mushrooms, right? So if you choose this route to heal yourself, to go on this healing journey that I like to call it, you want to find somebody that can monitor you, take care of you, advise you. Don't go try to do this thing on your own, right? You need a professional with you, right? So no, nothing that grows in the dark. So no mushrooms, no shellfish, no lobster, no clams, oysters, shrimp, nothing like that. Why? Because they eat at the bottom of the sea. We all know what's at the bottom of the sea. No snails. Okay, no escargot. I'm going to throw that in there because I grew up on all of that. Right? If it had fins and scales, I could eat it. Right? So now we're looking at chicken, beef, and fish. Oh, that's fantastic. Organic vegetables, all organic. Everything has got to be organic. I also juiced twice a day. Now, back in 2017, we didn't have all the juicing recipes that you can find all over TikTok, all over Instagram, all over the web. So literally, I would like make something up. And if it tasted really great, then I ate it. And if it tasted really bad, I didn't make it again. But I did that twice a day. I'd usually juice around 11 o'clock in the morning, and then I would juice probably around 4 or 5. And I have to tell you, when I knew I was going to start doing this, I thought, man, I'm going to be starving. It is amazing how full you feel when you're juicing like that. It's really fantastic. Let's see here. Juicing twice a day, vegetables. Let's talk fats. Avocados. I ate a ton of avocado. Very good for you. It's very filling. Let's talk oils in regards to fats. Please throw out every seed oil that you have in your home. Do not eat it. Do not cook with it. Do not consume it. Please look at the packages in your home, whether you're dealing with a health journey or challenge, or whether you're healthy as a little clam right now and you're consuming seed oils. In my opinion, you're not going to be healthy for long. Okay. They're just awful. So the only oils you should have in your home are coconut oil, avocado oil, and an incredible pure olive oil, right? Nothing wrong with you taking 2 tablespoons of olive oil every single day, maybe with a lemon, right? That would be just fantastic if you did that every day. So I also did supplementation that was specifically compounded for me, as well as other supplements that I started taking. And other than that, my IV vitamin therapy, like I mentioned earlier, was twice a week. So that day when I found out, I want you to know that the biggest part of my healing, I mentioned earlier, is really what's going on up here and really what's going on in your heart. Okay, I really want you to remember this. Of course, the first person I called was my husband, right? I have to call my husband. The second person I called was a gentleman by the name of Howard Falco. I had done a lot of business work with him. I had done a personal work with him. He is an incredible author. He also is a leader in coaching top professionals, be it CEOs, be it athletes, be it entrepreneurs. He is just up front and center in mindset, okay, coaching people to function and be the best that they can be. I had become friends with him over the years. Like I said, he had helped me in business, he had helped me personally. And I knew if I spoke with him, I would be in a mindset immediately to do what I needed to do. And which he did. Amazing. But I think the biggest thing I would share with you is I did not tell a lot of people. And I think people going through something like this struggle with the opinions of others, right? And I want to share with you is, yes, I do understand that this affects people around you. I had a family, I had a husband, I have 3 incredible children, right? At the end of the day, it's about you. In my opinion, it's about you. Yes, it affects them, but it's about you. And so other than that, and some friends at the time that I told, because we spent a lot of time with them and I knew that they would see my habits changing and I wanted them to know what was going on. Other than that, I did not tell a soul. You guys, I didn't even tell my mom. I did not tell my stepmother. Okay, I did not tell her because she's very white, well, I should say she was very white coat oriented. And I knew she would be in my ear constantly. And I had to protect myself. I had to protect my head. I had to protect my heart. And it's funny because I called her when I was all healed after 6 months and told her what had been going on. And do you know, she called me every single day after that for about 7 days and was on me like fire. Maybe you should go to the doctors. I don't know. She was just hounding me and hounding me and hounding me and hounding me. And finally, I had to tell her, stop. This is why I did not share this with you. I'm fine. I'm good. Enough. Right? So I share that with you because I want you to understand that you have the prerogative to share this with anyone that you choose to share it with, to protect yourself, to be the best you can be so you can go on a journey and take care of yourself. Okay? I want you to know that. So with that said, I want you to know that, again, I want to repeat, I totally respect the decisions that people make. People only make decisions based on the information that they have at that moment. And this is why I'm doing this video, is because I want people to know that they have options. I want people to know that they do not have to rush into a decision, okay? I want people to know that is a personal choice to go on this journey. You know, I remember talking to my husband and asking him, are you okay with this? And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, are you okay with me doing what I'm getting ready to embark on? And his response to me was, I'm more okay. I'm tremendously okay with it. However, you have a job to do. You have to get this done. And you guys, you know what? I started that day. When I was in that room with Dr. Mike, I said to him, okay, so when are we starting? He goes, oh, well, today we're hooking you up. We're starting you. Your first IV drip, your first vitamin drip. And you know what, you guys, I learned so much going through that. When I say going through that, that's not a heavy thing. I don't mean that heavy. That journey was the most incredible thing that I have done in my life outside of giving birth to those 3 lovely children that I have, right? It was incredible. I had a front row seat to how powerful the body is when you give it the tools that you need to take care of it. You know, I heard my husband talking on the phone the other day with somebody saying, you know what, people take better care of their cars than they do themselves. And I really want you to think about that. Would you put water in your gasoline? No, you would not do that, right? You would never do that. Would you put the highest grade oil in your car so it can function the best so you don't get stranded on the side of the road or you can drive a long trip? Absolutely, you would. Why don't we do that for our bodies, right? Why don't we do that for our bodies? So I want you to know the 6-month journey for me was incredible. I felt the best that I've ever felt in my entire life at that time. It was just really an experience. And I came out of that thinking to myself and saying to myself something I don't think I would have ever said had I not had the experience. I was talking to an individual one day about it. We were talking little spiritual things here and there about it. And I said, you know what? I said, he picked me. He picked me. I felt like I was picked because he knew that I'd do it. He knew that I could do this. And he also knew that at the appropriate time, I would share it with people. Share it with people so they would understand, number one, how powerful your body is, or their bodies are, right? And 2, to let people know that they have options. It's not just one way. So I have felt very blessed by the experience. I know a lot of people don't walk away from something like that saying, this is the most incredible thing I've ever done. But I want to tell you that then the arrow goes down the road of, I've got to make sure I take care of myself now, right? Perfect storms are created, you guys. We have no control over that sometimes, right? Perfect storms are created, be it environmental, be it stress, be it foods, be it whatever we do to our bodies, okay? Storms are created. Sometimes they're really out of our control, sometimes they're not. So I had to figure out a way how I was going to support my body in a way, because I was 55 when I got sick, right? I needed to be aware of the fact that I'm getting older. And I knew, because I've been in the health and wellness industry, that as we get older, things begin to decline, right? Our abilities for our bodies to take care of ourselves starts to lessen. That's part of the aging process. I knew I had to keep my nutrition sound, but I had to do something more. So, you know, I continued to eat well. I continued to take my supplements. I was aware, right? Keep my stress down. Okay, stress is huge. And how it would be that 4.5 years later, I was invited to go listen to a man speak about a wearable light technology that he had invented. And my partner, my incredible friend at the time, but now she's my business partner, we went to hear this man speak because she was looking for therapies and modalities for her daughter. She knew how much I was into regenerative medicine because of my own healing journey, and invited me, and off we go. And so I sat there in that room, and if I go to hear something about something or somebody about something, I'm on the front row. And I sat there and listened to a man that was talking about a wearable light technology that you can put on your body, and it was going to put the body in a state where it could actually start taking care of itself again. It was taking those regenerative cells and bringing them back to life. It was causing the genes in the body to reset to a healthier, younger state. And I was blown away. I had chills. I had talked to some people there that had experienced the product. That came the tears. But he spoke about one patch, one wearable light technology that blew me away. He started talking about glutathione. Now, mind you, what I was there to hear was the main technology that he was speaking of, the one that increased the GHK copper peptide in your body, that reset over 4,000 genes in your body to a healthier, younger state, and return was able to wake up, mobilize, and stimulate again your own master regenerative cells. Now, if that doesn't blow you away enough like it did me in the room, right? There was one more thing that really took me over the edge, okay? He started talking about glutathione. And glutathione was a massive part of my healing. Massive, right? Glutathione is the master of all antioxidants that your body produces, right? And when your body is producing something, it can be extremely powerful. It's more powerful than anything you can take from the outside world, right? So let me remind you, go back a minute. I was doing IV vitamin therapy twice a week. I was getting so much glutathione in those IVs, it was crazy. I was also doing 100% glutathione suppositories every single night for 6 months plus, right? A lot of glutathione. I could have sunk the Titanic, okay, if I'm being honest. So when he started talking about glutathione, I stood up a little bit more in my seat. And what I learned that day is this: when you take glutathione from an outside source, and IV is the best source you can get it outside of the pills, powders, gels, and everything that's offered out there today, really, okay? The body can only hold on to about 23% of what's being received or what's being given. And it has a half-life of 7 minutes. So I'm sitting there calculating these numbers in my head based on my previous 4.5 years prior to me sitting in that room, thinking, oh my gosh, my body only had about 2 to 2.5 hours to chomp up the free radicals in my body. That's what glutathione does, chomps up the free radicals in the body before it was poof, gone. Well, no wonder they were pumping me with so much. But when he spoke about this wearable light technology, this patch, this non-transdermal patch, remember, nothing is going in the body here with this patch, which blew me away. Like, I'm like, what? Nothing's going in my body when I put this patch on, and it's incredible, right? So when you put this patch on your body, because it's signaling the body through light, whether it is the regenerative patch, okay, or whether it's the glutathione patch, they're both working the same way, just signaling the body differently. But when I put that glutathione patch on, it signals a peptide in my liver for my body to make its own glutathione. And I'm thinking, well, that's amazing. But here's the kicker. Instead of me getting 23% like I did from those IVs and those suppositories, my body was able now to produce 300%. There's a big difference between 23 and 300. But instead of it being viable for only a half-life of 7 minutes, 7 minutes, now with that patch, not only am I getting 300%, it's viable in my body for a 24-hour period. And I looked at my friend at that moment and I said, how do I get that on my body? Because I knew at that moment, sitting there listening to him, that I had found something that would support my body in a way that just nutrition and exercise could not. Because of the aging process, because we start declining, right? We are in a mode of degeneration where this technology that I now use puts my body in the mode of regeneration. So it has been absolutely fabulous. This technology has changed my life. It has changed my family's life. My whole family uses it. But I can honestly tell you that it gave me the ability, because of my passion being in the health and wellness industry. From the time I was 26, I just really exploded into the industry. It's given me the ability to help hundreds of thousands of people with their health, with their vitality, with their longevity. No one's supposed to get sick. Our bodies are made to heal themselves. And this has been the biggest lesson for me through my own healing journey, and also having the privilege of being a part of this technology, this non-transdermal patch that is literally so incredibly easy to add to your daily routine. It isn't just another tool in your toolbox that is so easy to use. You know, you get up in the morning, you slap your little patch on, and you go about your day. And at the end of the day, when you're changing to go to bed, you take it off and you throw it away. It's so simple to use, but carries such weight. You know, it's amazing. So I want to thank you for listening to me. I hope that this has helped you or will help somebody you know. I think cancer is something that we hear too often. I think it touches too many people unnecessarily. And I know for a fact that there are so many things that we could be doing to not have it touch the ones we love or touch ourselves. So I think, and I hope that this will help. Please feel free to pass it along. If somebody has pointed you to this video to hear, please get back with them. Let them know that you want more information. And remember, it's just information that I'm supplying to you or they are supplying to you, and it gives you the ability to make an educated choice. Is this for me? Is this something that I want to use? Whether you might be embarking on this for preventative measures, right? Or you have a specific healing journey that you want to go through. You've dealt with things for a very long time and they seem to be not clearing up. They seem to be maybe getting worse. You're not on a route of regenerating and repairing. And I want that for everybody. So again, if somebody pointed you to this video, please get back to them. I'm happy to speak to anybody. Down below in this video, you'll see where you can contact me and get more information. But I do thank you for taking the time to listening, and I hope we will speak in the future. Bye-bye.